have a ton to get done around the house today, but first, today's video is sponsored by Cricut. I want to share with you a project that I am doing in my mess of a laundry room to get it looking organized and clean again. Since the whole purpose of a laundry room is to clean things, it seems wrong for it to be looking so unkempt. Anyway, the Cricut Joy is now available at the Container Store. I have used my Cricut Joy around my home for various labeling projects throughout my organization journey. In case you're not familiar with the Cricut Joy, it is a small but smart cutting and writing machine that is extremely easy to set up and use so that you can get right into your personalization and DIY projects. I've owned my Cricut Joy for several months now, and I'm still delighted at how it just elevates the look of the spaces I've organized. But back to my laundry room, I want to give it a makeover and get some of these excess packages out of the way. I have staples I use pretty much daily because I'm always doing loads of laundry and I want a more uniform look, so I went to the Container Store and got these large clear storage containers. I have one to store my borax, one for my baking soda, one for Tide detergent, and last, my all free and clear. The Cricut Joy is now sold at the Container Store. Here are some examples of some projects you can easily complete with it. They also have the Easy Press Mini, the Easy Press Matte, as well as smart materials that work great in conjunction with the Cricut Joy.
Little unboxing action here to show you exactly what you get when you buy the Cricut Joy from the Container Store. First, we have the adorable and smart Cricut Joy. Then you get a starter tool set, which includes a weeding tool, spatula, and scraper. Then it also comes with 3 black pens. You have your transfer tape, as well as some black permanent vinyl and some writable permanent vinyl. In here we have also the power cord and 1 extra pen. Now we're going to open up Cricut Design Space so that we can start making the label. We'll click on New Project and then on Text, and then write the text that we want the labels to be. There are tons of fonts to choose from. I usually spend way too much time picking a font, but for today, I just went with Cloud 9, which is a font I know I like. Once I had the labels written out, I wanted the individual labels that had 2 lines of text to be closer together. To do this, highlight the label you want to affect, go to Advanced, click Ungroup Letters, then you can highlight the word you want to move and move it up so it's more compact. Once you're happy with it, highlight the whole individual label, then click Weld, and this lets Cricut Design Space know that you want that individual label to stay together, which will be important when it comes to cutting. Once you're ready to cut your label, click Make It, and for this, we are using without a mat since we have our Cricut Smart Materials. We're cutting on the Smart Permanent Vinyl. Then you just load your Cricut Smart Material into the Joy, click Go, and it will start doing the cutting for you.
And it gets to work.
I'm using the black permanent vinyl for this project. One of my favorite things about the Cricut Joy is how easy it is to get a project started because there is no mat required. The Smart Material already has the mat built into the back, which means you can get to starting your project that much sooner. Now we are into the process called weeding. I have my weeding tool, and essentially what you're doing here is you're just taking away all of the excess vinyl so that you are just left with the label that you want to apply to your surface. Now that we're done with weeding, we're moving to the transferring portion of the project. I'm cutting off a piece of transfer tape, putting it on top of the label, and then scraping it on so that the label will stick to the transfer tape. Once it is, I can peel off the tape and then transport the label onto the container. You can save materials by reusing the same piece of transfer tape a few times. I'm using the same one for the first 3, and then I had to get another one for the final label, which was the borax label.
Now that we have the beautiful labels complete, let's fill the containers. All right, it is a mess over here, but I figured I should fill these before I clean everything up because there might be some spillage as I pour everything in. Or I buy these massive bags of baking soda from Costco and Sam's Club because I go through it so quickly. So quick that I have a backup bag as well.
Filling all these clear labeled containers is always super satisfying to me. I don't know why, but I always want to go on a labeling rampage when I do this. I'm already trying to figure out what else I can label in my laundry room, but really these 4 are the main constant staples, so I'm glad I'm getting it done finally for these. These look so good. Quick snapshot reminder of the mess of boxes it was before. I mean, I still have to clean it up, but you get the point. If you want to get your Cricut Joy at the Container Store, I will have a link in the description below. Thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get to cleaning up the rest of this laundry space so we can display these beauties. I'm going to remove and take out everything from this wall and from on top of the machines because the top of the washer and dryer have turned into shelves themselves, simply because I can barely reach the actual shelves in here without a stool. When we had our top loader washer, we needed the shelves this high so that we could open the lid to the top loader, but I realized this week, after months of still using a stool to reach things in here, I can bring these shelves down because we have 2 front-loading machines now, so we don't need this massive gap here. After removing everything from this area, it was time to quickly remove the shelves and just pop them down to a level that was reachable. And by quickly, I mean this turned into a 40-minute struggle. I could not for the life of me get these popped out of the wall. Once I realized I may have embarked on Mission Impossible, I turned off the camera because I didn't see the point in documenting gigabytes of struggle. Skipping ahead, and yay, I finally figured out how to get these out. It took a lot of muscle. I have very minimal muscle, so that's why it took me such a long time. But after 30 or 40 minutes, I got it done.
Okay, I'm thoroughly sweating. This was a lot harder than I thought it was. It took me about 45 minutes to finally get it down, but I got it down. But because it took so long, I'm just gonna ignore that and wait for my husband to take care of it.
Now that the shelf is at a reachable height, I'm bringing all the products back in and consolidating where I can. And of course, as I'm putting stuff up on the shelf, I realized I did not install it properly, so I took care of that and then started putting products on the shelf. The All laundry brand had nothing to do with this video. I recently bought and liked the Tide powder laundry detergent because it doesn't use a big plastic bottle. It comes in a cardboard box. And with my family having super sensitive skin when it comes to fragrance, I was looking for a free and clear powder detergent that we could use. It's not sold at Target or many other places for that matter, but I saw it at Walmart one day and it was on super clearance. So I bought every single box. Organizing the lower bins over here, I'm putting all of the washer essentials on the left side right above the washer and the dryer items on the dryer side. Then my husband had a whole bunch of random shoes and clothes that he had been storing in here, so I'm just setting it way up top for him to figure out what he wants to do with it in the future. When he does take the time to figure out what he's going to do with that, he can also lower that shelf. Now we just have to clean up the top of the dryer and washer so that they can just be a nice clean unit. Look at all this excess packaging that I got rid of just from consolidating and emptying containers. The laundry room looks beautiful, and now everything is within reach. I have stuff for my dryer in this basket, stuff for my washer over here, all of my basics up here. I have my all free and clear storage back there. But it's nice having everything I need right here for the washer and the few things I need right here for the dryer. Moving these shelves was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but it's so nice not having to get up on a stool and being able to access easily all the things I need for my laundry. Next, let's clean up the leftover mess of leftovers. We've been doing pretty well recently, eating almost all of our meals in because everything in the world has gotten so freaking expensive. Who else is sick of inflation? Anyways, the only time we've been eating out or getting takeout lately has been this Thai food place near our house because they give such massive portions that we get 2 to 3 meals out of it. So when you break it down cost per meal, it's really good. Feels like I'm meal prepping because I maximize my cow soy to last multiple days. We've also been doing tons of smoothies in our house again. Everyone in our house has at least one smoothie a day. It's been a great way to sneak nutrition into my boys because we can get calcium and all kinds of other vitamins and minerals in them, and they like it, so I love it. I'm scrubbing the table with water and dish soap because there was a lot of sticky smoothie crud on the table that just wouldn't wipe away without a good scrub first. Then I'm going over the table for a second pass with water to prevent the cloudy soapy film from drying on the table. This may look like a wood table, but it's covered in a coat of polyurethane, so it's basically like a plastic table. So this is my favorite way to deep clean it. Next, we are moving to the dishes, and I just had to finish this last bit of cow soy, I guess, even though it had been sitting in the sink. Didn't have any dirty water in it. It was just sitting right on top. So don't judge me. I'm just finishing my meal the way my mama always wanted me to. Next, I'm going to clean and deodorize the sink and disposal. I'm spraying it down with my Dawn Power Wash and scrubbing away all of the grime. After rinsing it out, I'm going to plug the sink and have it fill with hot water. I'm going to clean and deodorize the kitchen rag I've been using today. It's not super filthy or anything, so this should be plenty to refresh it, but I added 1 scoop of OxiClean to the water, let it dissolve, and this is going to help clean and deodorize the sink. After the sink is full, unplug the drain and turn on the disposal, and the Oxy and hot water mix going through the disposal should knock the stink out of the sink. Now let's tidy the pantry. It has certainly looked much worse, but I'm trying to be better at maintaining spaces as much as I can. I'm sure I will still have disaster spaces and rooms to clean in the future. It's inevitable, but I'm trying to reduce those occurrences as much as motherly possible. Shout out to this popcorn here. It is so good. We got an air popper off of Amazon recently so that we could have non-microwavable, healthier popcorn. And it tastes so good. It's my new addiction. I have it every single night when I'm watching movies. But we go through a lot of popcorn and a lot of rice in this house, so I'm restocking the storage containers of these and then leaving the extra in the bottom, which is our overflow area. Most of this mess is avoidable. By the way, this birthday cake Kodiak baking mix, super good and extra protein in your birthday cake, so I highly recommend. But as I was saying, a lot of the mess in here is probably avoidable. I think what happens a lot is when my husband and I go grocery shopping, or just in general in life, this is probably a problem of ours, but instead of putting things away, we just put things down. And a mantra that I am trying to get ingrained in my head is don't put it down, put it away, because I just put stuff down all the time, and then before I know it, it becomes a mess. I know it is a very hard habit to break, but it's one that I feel like is worth breaking for me, because I think overall my life and cleaning would be much easier if I just put things away right away. Anyone else struggle with this? It's gotta be a common problem with moms. I mean, it was a problem for me before I was a mom, but then being a mom exacerbated the problem, because once you have kids, sometimes you do have to just put things down instead of taking the time to put them away if your kid really needs something. But I will admit, I think I just put things down even when I don't need to just put it down, even when I have time to put it away. Now we are tidying up and decluttering this random little storage space between my kitchen and living room that the realtor called the butler's pantry. You know how people have junk drawers? This whole area is just a massive junk drawer, but I'm going to tackle these 2 drawers today and declutter what we don't need because we have so many wires in here. They're all tangled up. I'm organizing the wires and wrapping them in Velcro so that they don't get all tangled with each other again. And then when I put them back, I'm going to put like wires back together and then declutter any wires that we just have too many duplicates of. We have some Rogue batteries in here, so I'm gonna pull out my battery storage and properly store these batteries. Thank you again to the many of you who told me I wasn't previously storing my batteries properly. Before, I had them all just tossed in this bin all over the place. Different batteries were touching their fronts and ends together, which I guess can cause explosions. And so now I have them in little mini pods within the battery case so that the fronts and ends, or negative and positive sides, don't touch one another and they don't explode. This is everything that I decluttered from the space, and now it just looks so nice and new. Next, the former massive holes that were in the wall from our doors, we finally got patched up. It was way overdue. If you've been watching my channel for a while, when we got them patched up, the guy took a photo of what he found in the wall, and there was a lot of random crap that had been thrown in there over the last year. But it's patched up now, and we have to paint over it today. All right, I gotta find the specific paints that match inside the house and take it to either Lowe's or Home Depot to shake it up for me. Here is the interior paint. It definitely needs to be shaken up. All the oil's risen to the top, but it's also kind of gotten rusty on the inside. We'll see what they can do at Home Depot. At Home Depot now, looking at all of these beautiful paint colors is making me want to paint my house something more interesting than builder beige, maybe a gray, but I don't think the gray would match with my flooring. Yeah, for now though, I'm not going to be repainting my whole house in a day, so I'm just going to patch up what needs to be patched up with the paint that they are shaking up right now. But if you could repaint your house right now, what color would you paint it? I always see so many fun options on Instagram that are so inspirational, but I have zero clue how to execute it. I know I would botch it. And that is why my house is just an amorphous blob of beige. Back at the house now, fortunately the rust wasn't a problem, so they were able to shake up my old can of paint, and now I just have to paint over this, I don't know, this white splotch of stuff covering up what used to be the hole, and I can just be happy that I should never hopefully have to deal with stuff like this again, because now I know what the door stopper is for. Yes, I should have known what a door stopper was for just by the name door stopper, but I'm not the brightest bulb, and I'm fine with that because I can at least fix my errors along the way. No one was hurt in the creation of this hole other than my pocketbook, and I do know I'm not the only one out there who's done this, thanks to all the comments on my TikTok about this. I was so very pleased by the look of a freshly painted wall that I decided to keep freshening up the walls in my kitchen area. I have magic erasered the living daylights out of the walls in my kitchen to the point that some of the paint has erased from my walls. So with the remaining paint that I have, I decided to clean my walls in the very dirty areas of my kitchen and paint over it so that we can have a fresh looking eating area again. I noticed by the crunching under my feet that the floor was covered in crumbs behind the table, so I got my Vibroom out to sweep it up. The Vibroom is nice because it has a built-in vacuum to make getting the crumbs up easy, but the battery was dead because I have my kids help clean the kitchen with this broom, and we haven't plugged it in a long time. So I just sprayed down the remaining crumbs with a cleaner and wiped it up before I got to painting. I got this off of Amazon and I am going to fill them right now so that I can easily touch up
throughout the weekday, during my life, because my kids are always making messes on the wall. Hopefully this helps me maintain my walls for longer. I have the little syringe here that I can suck up excess paint from. Brush top on. And there, I have one paintbrush pen for the walls in my house. Let me do a second one because Lord knows I got a lot of messes on my walls. So let's fill the little syringe again, put it in here. Brush cap on again. And there's the second one. Ready to go for my house. The paint is still drying everywhere. Wow, the paint is still drying, so it doesn't look completely even, but seeing how much better my walls look right now, just from the little bit that I've done today, makes me realize I really need to take the time to do this in more areas of my house, but for now, we got to move on. This is another find I got off of Amazon that's an easy way to patch small holes in your wall. All right, it's supposed to be super easy to use. You just put it over your wall like that. Use a little bit more. This is not just like a tiny little nail hole. It's a little bit more sizable. Now we let that dry and I can paint over that and fix it up. Oh, looks like there's another tiny little hole right here. There. Easy peasy. This has been here for way too long. Let's try to get it out. When that dries up, I'll be able to use my new paint pen to camouflage it. All right, let's try this little pen out. It works just like a concealer pen. You twist it from the bottom. There it is. Alrighty. Most areas of my house, I am realizing I can't even really utilize this until I have freshly painted walls, because this little pen isn't going to paint and correct an entire wall. So for now, I'm really just getting use out of it in my office because my kids are not allowed in my office. So the scuffs on the wall are from furniture that was moved in here. I don't have kids' fingerprints or crayons or markers all over my wall, sticky food covered hands. So I'm actually able to get use out of this in here. You can still kind of see it, but it's good enough. Oh, and then back here. Voila. Gotta go pick up my kids from daycare now. Thank you so much for joining me on cleaning, decluttering, painting, getting everything done that I was able to get done today in my house. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of the other videos floating over the screen at this point, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.